Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer in Review. As always, I am Manderson, and with me is Maviel. Maviel, what do we have in store for us this week?
This week we are going to be trying the Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Ale,
Very
which is
cool.
their seasonal, like October brew.
Alright, they're fall seasonal, that's what we can call it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had this pumpkin beer before? Harvest Pumpkin Ale?
I have not had this particular pumpkin ale. I have had others over my course of time. So I'm sort of judging this on what the others taste like, sort of the pumpkin pie spices and stuff like that.
Alright. I've never had this, and I've actually never even had a whole lot of pumpkin ales, fall seasonal pumpkin ales. I've had a few, but none that I can remember off the top of my head. But I do like to drink Blue Moon on occasion. It's a nice, light, fresh beer, so I'm looking forward to what they do with this. So we'll see.
Yep.
Right, you have a glass ready for us, don't you?
Yes, I'm going to just pour it out.
Don't do this at home, folks, but I don't know where my bottle opener is, so
Oh god, don't use your teeth.
we'll do it that way.
Oh god.
Don't do that at all.
That gave me cringes, even back in college.
Well,
All right.
right off the bat, I can say it's got a nice color to it. Wow.
It has
I
a
like
great
that
color to
color.
it.
Nice caramely color.
Nice. Yeah.
Not too dark, not too light. It's got a really nice aroma, really spicy smelling aroma. You can smell the pumpkin.
I can.
Definitely smell the pumpkin.
Yep. And all those pumpkin spices.
Yeah, some nutmeg in there. Smells good. I like the smell of this. I wish they made candles of this beer smell.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice finish too. It's got a nice initial flavor, not too bad, and it finishes.
Yep.
It leaves a little bit of a spicy trail to your, not spicy, not like hot spicy, but like spices, like nutmeg flavor, pumpkin spice flavor on your tongue as it finishes.
Yeah. Yep. I would say this is very similar to the other pumpkin ales that I've had. It does seem a bit thicker than some of the other ones. And maybe a tad more on the spices side.
It's very spicy.
But some that I've had have been really like kick in your mouth pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
Which
is this?
Yeah.
How does this rate with that? Is this more or less kick in your mouth pumpkin flavor?
I would say less kick in your mouth. Like you definitely get the taste of the spices and everything in there, but it's smooth. Like everything seems to blend very well together.
Yeah.
That they've put into this beer.
Definitely. I definitely taste a lot of the spices and the nutmeg and some of the pumpkin flavor. The allspice is in there. I can definitely taste that, but it's not too overpowering. It's smooth in there. And you said it was a little heavier than some you've had. I don't think it's too heavy. It's got a nice body to it. Not too heavy though. And it seems pretty smooth. And I also noticed, if you're familiar with what Blue Moon itself tastes like, I can feel that. Like I taste the Blue Moon too. The traditional Blue Moon taste, that background is in this beer for sure. Which is nice. I like that it has that backbone.
Yeah. I would totally agree with that. So just looking at their bottle right now, it does say sort of what they put into it, which, like you've mentioned, the cloves, allspice, and nutmeg.
Mm-hmm. It's a rich amber colored ale.
Yeah.
Vine ripened pumpkin, cloves, nutmeg, and allspice. Then added a touch of wheat for a smooth finish. It seems like a Blue Moon kind of thing to do. It's perfect complement to fall's crisp, clear days. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
if you like your
Now this
summer
beer.
ales,
Oh,
I'll finish and then you can go ahead.
yeah.
If you like your summer ales, they're very, very lighter, nice, refreshing beers. Um, and then this is a fall ale, so this is a little heavier and spicier, but still
Mhm.
light. And then winter ales are usually heavier yet, so I feel like this hits a nice mid ground between your light summer ale and your heavy winter ales, your seasonals for that. And this is a nice spot in between that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems to uh, be, I would say, right on the nose with that. Because when you think of a fall day, you think, sort of crisp out, especially in the northern United States, a little crisp, chill in the air.
Hmm.
And heavier beers tend to, warm you up. And this, it sits with the nice, it's not too cold, but it is cold
Hmm.
type feel. But this beer, when it comes to ABV, is at a 5.7, which is right sort of in the middle of what the average pumpkin ale beers are. Because those range typically from 4.0 to 7.0%.
I didn't realize they ranged that big. I'm sure that has a little bit of a basis to what kind of ale it is behind the pumpkin ale, because there are pumpkin stouts. This is a pumpkin ale.
Yeah.
There's different pumpkin porters. So depending
Yeah.
on what type of beer it is, I'm sure it makes that big ABV difference. So, um, and just a little bit about pumpkin beers themselves. They're usually a beer made with some kind of pumpkin flavor. It's either a roasted pumpkin or a fresh pumpkin added into that. Um, and then the spices that you have in like a pumpkin pie, like your nutmeg, your allspice, your cloves, um, that kind of spices that you would traditionally think of for pumpkin pie. Um, and then Blue Moon does the thing that Blue Moon is known for, and they add a little bit of wheat to it to have a smoothness to it that they like. I would say it's Blue Moon staple. Um, so yeah, that's just a little bit about pumpkin ale. You have anything to add to that, Mavil?
Um, Nothing that we haven't touched on, because they do tend to be very spice oriented when it comes to the pumpkin ales, and a little like they range between. I've had this color, the nice little amber, all the way to your like pale ales looking beers.
I think it's all about that
So
backbone of what the beer behind it is. So.
yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to try this beer a little bit more and come back with our final thoughts and some other interesting facts about it here in just a little bit. All right, we're back with our final thoughts and a little bit more about the beer itself. Mavil, why don't you kick it off for us?
All right. Well, a little bit of the history of the Blue Moon Brewing Company. It started off in 1995, brewing their white, the original Blue Moon that is in pretty much every bar right now.
Pretty
and
popular.
the cool thing about yeah, it's very popular. And the cool thing about that is when it came out in the World Beer Championship, it got a gold medal in the white beer category.
I'd say it deserved it.
So, yeah, definitely. And also a fun little tidbit that I found on their site, from 95 to 2005, Keith, who's the like head brew master, and also the starter of Blue Moon, hit the road and went around to the different bars and stuff, store to store, and telling their story to each place. And in 97, they would even go as far as dropping off bags of oranges to garnish their Blue Moon beer with. And when some of the pubs started to run out of oranges, and that wasn't a typical staple when it came to garnishing, so they would call him up and ask if he would deliver more.
Wow.
So
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's a nice personal touch too. Like, that shows a lot about the company. I like that. That's a cool tidbit.
yeah.
A little bit extra there is Blue Moon's been around kind of brewing Blue Moon since 1995, as Maviel just said. But they also have been brewing the Blue Moon Pumpkin Ale since 1995 as well. In fall of 1995, they put out their first Pumpkin Ale. Back then it was just called Pumpkin Ale, and now it's known as Harvest Pumpkin Ale. But it's pretty close to the similar thing as back then. So that's been around for just about as long, which is surprising. Most new companies, when they first come out with their beer they're known for, Blue Moon. Might be a year or two or three before another beer we can talk about comes out from them. But they already had this ready, so that's cool.
That's very cool. All right, so what are some of your impressions now that we've had a couple more sips and have taken this drink in?
Yeah, my initial thoughts, just to backtrack just a hair, it started off, had a lot of spicy flavor to it, and it finished with a nice spice left on your tongue. And it wasn't bad, it was good, but there was quite a bit of spice there. Now that we've had it, and I've drank a little bit more of it, and I'm farther along with it, the spiciness of it, the spices itself, don't stay with you as much. It's still got the Blue Moon backbone, and that's holding it up really well, and the spices are still there, giving it some flavor, which is really nice. But the spices have dulled down a little bit, so it's kind of cool. But it's still good flavor.
Nice. Yeah, I would say for me, the spices haven't really dulled down too much. Like, they're still there and fairly prominent. When I first take that sip, and as it goes down my throat, I just taste everything still. But I agree with it's very full-bodied, very nice, still very smooth, and I would say a good drink for fall.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't mean that the flavor wasn't there at all anymore. I just meant it's not quite as strong as it was for me initially. It's still there. I still taste it for sure, and it's still good. It's just not as strong to me as it initially was. But it's still there for sure. But yeah, definitely I agree with your point. It feels like a good fall beer to me. I definitely go to this for my fall beer.
Yeah, I would actually say that it's the king of my fall beers.
My king would have a crooked crown that I can't even sit on there. But I don't know if I'd go to say it's the king. I'm sure there's a couple other fall beers I like a little better, but it's good, and I wouldn't shy away from it for sure. It's good. Do you have anything else to add here, Maviel?
No.
Alright, that's our gist of Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Ale. We like it. It's got good spices, good flavor. It's got the Blue Moon backbone to it, so that holds it up pretty nice. It's pretty good. If you have any suggestions or comments, anything at all, just leave it in the comment below. We'll make sure to look at it. If you have a suggestion for a beer, we'd love to hear that too. And if we can, we'll get to it and put an episode of that out as well. Leave that in the comment below as well. Until next time, Maviel.
Cheers.
Cheers.